And we're back right now for the second match of tonight here at the League of Legends Elite Series 2nd Division. Of course, I am still not alone, as the wonderful Paul with his beard is here to cast alongside me. Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm still there. You're still there. We're still there. Production is still there. We are all there for the week that we have to play again.
Yes.
No, not again.
Not again, but play at all.
Play at
Week
all.
4, which has been delayed to be played this week, which means that after that we'll be heading into playoffs already, which means that the next few matches are really, really important. Now, one match which won't have much impact on the overall ladder is the one we're going to see now, which is Rift Sloths against Once Upon a Team. It won't have much impact on the ladder, I say, because if Rift Sloths does win it, then they'll be tied with Homa, a tie which will be broken up in the match on Friday. However, if Once Upon a Team were to win, then Aoma would stay on the first spot and would either finish first after Friday, or Rift Sloths would tie on Friday, meaning we would play a tiebreaker. But really, it's just about the first or second place, about seeding in the playoffs. Both teams are for sure qualified for the playoffs. So is Dynasty. The question is really up for Pertinax and Reapers, meaning that Dynasty does have to do some work maybe later if they want to deny that spot from Reapers, because they will be playing against Reapers in match 3. Reapers needs to win that match to have an upper hand against Pertinax, else they'll be already disadvantaged, because Pertinax will be playing against Aurora next week and should have Reapers will be playing against Aurora next week, I'm sorry. They should have the upper hand there, but Pertinax will be playing against Once Upon a Team, a matchup that should also be favorable for Pertinax. So, yeah, Reapers will have to play well against Dynasty. But first off, we have Rift Sloths against Once Upon a Team.
Yeah, and they what I'm looking on the graph and I can't find where they played first against each other, because normally should have. But I'm looking. It was when? It should be on week 6, but no.
I don't remember either, but we have the champ select up at least. And first ban to not change a winning team is going to be Caitlyn.
They are playing on Friday because the match is delayed. Because it wasn't played on the 10th, but it's played on the 17th. We have one more match on Friday.
Yes.
Therefore, they didn't play. So Rift.
Yes, indeed, there was this issue with the player not having electricity and being unable to play, I believe. So that match was delayed to Friday, and it's also match What versus Rift Sloth. So they'll be playing twice this week.
That means that the Rift Sloths can go 13-1 here, because there are 3 games to play, and there will probably be no tiebreaker with Aoma.
Yes, true. Unless they were to lose
well,
twice.
well, if they lose twice against Once Upon a Team in like a week, it will be, in my opinion, hard for Once Upon a Team to win twice against the Sloths. Well, they haven't played against each other, but we never know. We never know. But the Sloths are still very static here. They also go with the Gragas for the flex pick again. Once Upon a Team. They have to play the qualifying, not the qualifying again, but against the qualifying teams in the best of 5 from the Pro Amateur tournament. if they still want to
Mhm.
have the spot.
So of
But we
course,
have Lulu and Viego taken for Once Upon a Team. Those sloths are probably going for their bot lane now. Aphelios and Fresh take for Aphelios. To deny the Aphelios Lulu. And there is Aphelios Fresh.
yes.
Lulu can still go with the Zeri. But with the CC of Gragas and Rush, if you can dodge it and if you're fast, you can do it. But they want to go for a top lane first. Because Lulu goes with almost everybody. You can also play. You could play Lucian Lulu. It's not
Mhm.
that bad. It's not as strong as Nami Lucian,
Sivir is
but
also still open.
yeah, TV is still open.
The question is Riftslove's going to put too much emphasis on that AD carry right now, or are they rather going to go for bans for that mid lane?
Yeah, and this is a ban. So they maybe are going to. It will be harder for Once Upon a Team if they have no AD carries to choose.
They are also already playing with a sub as a support, so it's already rather weak inside. So I think they're not gonna play themselves a lot around it. So it's good, probably good for Once Upon a Team that Riftsofts has used the two last bans for that AD carry position, because with the last pick they might get a really good pick for them on the mid lane.
Switch Lulu, yeah, good. It will be hard lane against the Philos Thresh, but in the mid game, Switch and Lulu are really good. But they lack some engage here. Ornn is not a good solo engager with the ult. The ref Camille for lax. Poor Ornn.
Alexis also been already quite hindered with the last two bans of Once Upon a Team banning that Gwen and Fiora. Gwen of Lex, which we have seen I think twice last week. He's shown that he's pretty strong on there. And we're gonna pick a Nezreal on sides of the Rift's loss.
Yeah, so it's Ezreal mid. Oh wait, maybe Ezreal jungle. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? No, it will be Ezreal mid. Against the Vega will be a not so good pick for. Yeah, the Rice is better. The Vega got buffed. The range of Q and W got increased, but you can easily jump out with the E, so it's not a good very. It's not that good of a mid lane matchup. Well, you can burst him because he's squishy, but still, it's still hard matchup for the Veigar.
Yes, without CC, you're gonna have a rough time pinning that Azrael down. Rise with a point and click CC has already a much better time to do so, and can also maybe get the damage out then onto the Ezreal.
But the Ezreal
Plus,
will not. You can't gank that. I think.
Viego is gonna have a really rough time ganking that. Like, the stun is dodgeable, and unless he's really well set up, but I mean, Viego's gangs are predictable, usually. And Azrael can get off by being in a dangerous position with his E plus a flash if it comes to it. Very safe champion. Good hands here.
Yeah, but also the I like the Azrael build with no tier. You go full crit because with quick blades your damage goes up for like 20%. Your Q, your W, your E, and your ult are all going to be enhanced by the amplifier from the Naboris, and the cooldown is just too good on Azrael. You can do the machine gun. You
Mhm.
can play Orf with that build, because every time you hit Sense Reaver, you get mana back, so you don't need to tear. You don't need the damage from tear. You can do it for the crit, so other attacks also deal damage. Your W deals like 20% more damage. Your E, yeah. The ult is very important. Has high base damage and a good ratio. So yeah, I think if Beacon goes for that build, I will be happy, because I actually personally I like it more than the tier build. The tier build is kind of boring. You scale, you buy, and you also buy the can also buy Kraken Slayer or Sheepbow with the Essence Reaver build, because nobody is, you don't go Duskblade for the extra damage because you have it. But yeah, it's, we'll see what we'll have here.
Yes, we'll see very soon how it all plays out as we're headed into the game here in the Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. Rift Sloths on the blue side going up against Once Upon a Team. And with no super threatening start champions, we have a classic spread where no one really goes in for somebody.
Will there be some dances? Come on, Cutlight dance. Do the little dancey dance. Oh, everything will be covered. Vigo is going to start topside. Leo is going to go for the red. For the Cinder Claw. It's quite funny for me that they choose red, green, and blue. It always reminds me of Pokemon.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. I have a feeling, I have a slight nudge of a feeling that it was kind of what they were going for.
Yeah, the
Like,
green one is mountain, the red one is scorch, so fire, and the blue one is storm, so wind.
yeah, storm
Not-
can also be water,
Yeah, but they choose storm.
but
Because
it's
I
blue.
think it's
It doesn't matter. It's
Stormcore.
blue.
Yeah, it's
It's
blue.
blue, and it's little animals which follow you and evolve alongside you. It's literally Pokemon.
And they have 3 evolves too. Like first stage, second stage, and first stage.
Ooh. Kotlin looking for the
Ooh.
aggression, trying to not fall behind onto Lex. Lex, of course, I talked about it with Rashtana last week. He's that, my opinion, not the brightest star of Rift's Lost, but he's definitely the most constant one. Always a threatening top laner to play against, always dangerous. If you give him a little bit too much, it's gonna be terrifying.
Yeah, and also on the Camille, you are very strong on the side lane. I think the champion is busted, but it's my opinion. I don't like Camille. The champion design is just too broken. It's like Yumi. Oh, and there's no Yumi pick because Yumi is banned, by the way. I think we forgot. Not banned, but disabled. She got a change. Wait, then we are on current patch. Am I mistaken? We are on current patch, right?
Yeah, on 15-4.
It's the one from last week. I think we're on. Well, Yumi is disabled. I'll check.
Little action here. Neiko coming in, stealing that crap from Liao, but here comes the damage already. Splinter is following up. So is the bot lane of Once Upon a Team, and Liao has to fall back for a bit
The
because here
flash.
comes quite a bit of damage. He just flash
ward.
in instead and is gonna die. First blood goes to UFO from Once Upon a Team.
Yeah, they warded the trash lantern. So Leal couldn't click it, and then he just got dotted down. Nice flash from Nico here. Good setup with the ward. But yeah, there are some slaps in there.
Yes, for the rest, pretty calm start into this game. Of course, as once upon a team playing against one of the top tier teams of this split and this division with SLOTHS, you don't want to go for a mistaking plays. You go for the safe ones. You try to look to slowly build up a lead. And Neko is starting off really well, but now we have a hook on the bot lane. Toto has to be careful with kinetics damage. Android, he is gonna fall, I believe. Yes, the call goes to Batu, however. On the other side of the map, however, Neko's gank was well done, and they get the kill on Lex.
Yeah, it was a nice hook from Batu, but yeah, he unfortunately got the kill because Kinetic couldn't deal that much. Couldn't deal the final hit. But yeah, Beacon is also threatening the Rise a bit, but he already has Tyr and Eons. He's gonna sustain that up if you hit him. Hex Tech Drake is also the first one. You don't see it on the top left. You can see the icon on the minimap. And yeah, Yumi's disabled on the next patch, so for playoffs. Not this week. It's not on the current patch. Just checked it up to be clear, so I don't say anything wrong. But yeah, nothing is really happening.
Very, very calm start of the game.
Look, didn't we before Rift was a thing? Was half a thing, I think. I can say it like this. Didn't we say that the team with the most skins win the game?
Yes, it
Wasn't there
used to be
something?
that. Yeah, that was the meta. The team with the most skins or with the best color cohesion. Yeah.
So we go with chromas now because everybody
You
has
had,
a skin.
you had chromas on top, and you need to look at the price of the skin, because the pricier the skin, the stronger it is, of course. It's pure logic.
Yeah, yeah. It's not it's pay to win, right?
Yep.
Pay to skin, pay to win. Yeah, I think the overall color of Rift is blue, right? That's a whitish blue. The red, purple, blue.
Yeah, and the purplish reddish. It's an alright color scheme. It's always hard to judge without seeing the loading screen, of course.
Yeah, but who wants to see a loading screen? You can
Well,
just
when you
see
want to
our
judge the
faces.
skins,
What's better, our skins or just in-game skins?
not sure. My skin is kind of a mess right now. But Rift does have like that bluish color scheme, and then towards the bot lane it turns to a purplish pinkish hue. Here we have to hook on to Toto, some damage falling in. But Rift, the polymorph is able to survive some time, but Kinetic does end up getting the kill on the enemy support. And now Yufio has to flee, is gonna be able to barely survive here with the invisibility. Camouflage.
Oh, that hit it.
Two-shot barrage goes to the side.
Oh. Do you know these perfect two-shot barrage shots where you kill someone when they go back to base?
Yeah.
Yeah, that almost happened to UFO.
Would have been nice. Maybe that was actually the two-shot barrage wasn't for Spinto, it was fought for you, Phil.
Yes, maybe, who knows? It's the mind games that counts.
Of this calm early game, only 2 kills on each side. It is equal, but Rift Sloths is having a slight lead just due to CSing. On the mid lane, on the top lane, they have that advantage on the bot lane as well. Now with a gang on the top lane, Lex has to be careful. Fleece, however, albeit cut light's ultimate.
Yeah. Everything is going back. And nothing special, nothing interesting in the early game. Well, Rift Sloths took the first dragon, and I think the second dragon will be in Jump Tank. Where's that flash again?
And the icon on the upper left not visible, but Can has to be careful here, some damage falling. I think there's really necessity to fight here, although Once Upon a Team is on that clock, with Rift Sloths being ahead of goal just due to CS. They need to find the opportunity to get some gold, but it's a double-edged sword to do so, because one engage that goes sour is gonna give Rift a definite lead, and we know how that usually goes.
Ooh. And there's
now
maybe a gank? No.
going in for the bot lane, nope.
Oh.
He's gonna get catch from Liao, that's what I was gonna say. Is able to flash out of the exploding cask, however. To a good start. To survive.
That's a nice rotation from Spinto, he didn't lose.
Well, yeah, we have the hook onto Yufio, has to be careful, a lot of damage falling in. But with Neko around the corner, we can maybe survive the Ignite thanks to Toto's Grove. And with the camouflage, is able to go back. 2-shot barrage this time around, not off cooldown.
Yeah, and you have pretty good setup. The Rift Herald shot the tower, but everybody was too far away, so only Nico got the gold. It's also not that bad for Viego. But yeah, the early game is still a bit lackluster. What action on the action side? TP into the mid lane from Spinto with the Rod of Ages. We can now just stack up a tier. And Beacon goes for a tier build. Maybe he goes for Muramana into Quick Blades and then crit.
Q hits. Anyway, once again, it's very calm, but this time around, Drake is gonna spawn at 30 seconds, meaning there is an objective for both teams to fight for. And I believe it is in each team's best interest to get it as soon as possible. Or at least it is in Rifts in order to keep snowballing that game. Winning what needs to be even faster or deny them. Which is gonna be tough with this gold difference already.
Well, yeah, the Rift Sloths are already pushing out the lane, so they have the upper hand on the people's side. From the bot lane, maybe they try to catch someone, and they probably will.
Yeah, we have the ulti from Kinetic, and a lot of damage falling onto Yifu, overgrowing him already, but he dies in a matter of a few seconds. Now Neko is in there, but it's a 3v2, he has to be careful. He comes to hook into the cask, and some damage falling, but with Rice coming in with his own ultimate, we are able to turn the situation as Batu is taken.
Yeah, Batu is taken. The dragon goes for Once Upon a Team. They have enough damage. Lulu just gives her E and W to Nico, and then the dragon is popped.
And they played this really well. We're definitely not in the most favorable position to do so, but with very nice timing on their side, we're able to turn the situation here.
Yeah, they are. Well, it was a one for one, but you get the dragon if you have more pressure, and somebody recently died, you definitely have more pressure than the other team.
Yes. With good conscience, they keep on going, but the gold lead is always slowly growing, which is very favorable for the Rift Sloths. Something they should try to look and stop, because it's always due to that CS lead. Look at this. On the bot lane, 40 CS lead. On the mid lane, 20. Top lane was able to even it out a bit. They need to put a stop to that kinetic and to bot lane here, as they take also first turret in this game, meaning more pocket in their money. That wasn't the right way of spinning those words. More money in their pockets, that's the right way.
Yeah, and Rise is only behind on CS because he roamed a bit, and Ezreal just farmed, and he gets the first
Yeah.
strike goal. Therefore, he's only further ahead. I'm just poking.
It's the advantage of Ryze in this matchup. Ryze needs to go somewhere to do the pressure. I mean, when Bakan can just be a threat with a well-placed true shot barrage. Simply the fact of him having it is already quite a pressure button for Sloths.
Yeah, well, it's almost like a Gangplank ult, but it's harder to hit. Does decent damage. There's
Are you gonna get
Cutlight
the
going
proc
to...
with the gank here on the top lane? Cutlet is not gonna survive 4 people on the top lane, and we're gonna be grabbing that tier 1 on the top lane, propping down Herald, making sure to clear the way on that top side, liberating Lex, truly, or making him even more dangerous, because from that top lane, if he just keeps pushing onto that inhib, it's gonna put so much pressure onto Watt, and they're gonna need to have people top lane, and if he leaves, because he just can't do so at that point, he's gonna be a true danger in fights.
Yeah, and just look at the vision from Rift. Every entry of the jungle is warded. They know who is where. Once upon a team only have two to three wards in the enemy jungle. Uh, sh-
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And they're currently having the upper hand. They're gonna keep on pushing. The gold lead is now getting more and more substantial in favor of Rift Sloths, especially with those turrets, with Lax who can be completely unleashed now. This is already starting to slowly look rough for Once Upon a Team.
yeah, and Aphelios hit Infinity Edge already, so the damage is going to be huge for the next team fight. If he can still have the AoE weapon. And also cut lights.
Just cutting through cut light slide. Boom. There we go. This wasn't
He's
worth
cutting
it.
light.
Yeah. He tries to survive with this ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. The kill does go to Lex, and now he can put even more pressure on the top lane again. Sorry.
You know, if you do these bad jokes, I think production is just going to mute us someday. When they see the bad jokes coming, insta mute.
There's
Or
always this
maybe.
small spark in the eyes, you know, when a bad joke's going to come. Someday they'll have the feeling for it. They'll be like, oh, there it is.
I knew it.
There we go on the
Oh,
mid lane, maybe the return kill
nice
onto Kinetic, but he heals quite a bit of damage with the Lantern. He's
does.
going to be able to go far away, but he's going to die to the poison of Ufio. And they get a nice catch on here. Now Leo has to be careful, but no, coming in with Cutline. The kill goes to Spinto, as Watt is able to reap some gold back. Grabbing that second Drake.
Well, wow. Once Upon a Team are they're behind in gold. They have a good dragon combination. What a wow. Yufio just goes in, hits the go button, then just hits the enemy. And I think
Yeah.
well, very good team fight actually. Well, I don't know what I want to say, but it was
We don't want
the
to jinx
Twitch,
anything.
the Twitch Lulu combos, the
Yeah.
high
It worked
damage
out
they can do.
really well, and they had some very nice focus on Kinetic. He was the only one taking the damage as it should be, and that way they were able to grab that shutdown. Very nice played from Once Upon a Team. These are the plays they really need, and they're currently able to grab them. But Rift right now doing that Baron, or maybe trying to bait Once Upon a Team into a team fight they should not take. Because if they have the right setup, it works. But if they're forced into it, it doesn't. Because now Cutlet was grabbed into it. And yeah, they might go for that kill onto Lex. But he still deals quite a bit of damage. They're able to mitigate that, however. Each team down that top lane, and now another hook falling now onto Neko. This time around, Spitter is able to do some nice damage onto Kinetic. They do get the kill, but the return kill does go to Bukan. Once Upon a Team has to be careful, but so has Rift SLOTHS. Because Once Upon a Team, once again, is able to spin that situation in their favor. Although
Yeah,
2-2.
As you said, spin from Spinto, like he just flashes two shots the Aphelios, and then the fight is over. He dies, but who cares? Aphelios is dead. You
Yeah.
can push the lanes a bit on top. Yeah, again, well, a very good hook from Batu there to interrupt Nico. So yeah, also Toto with a very good ult because Lex wanted to jump away, but Toto interrupted the
Yeah,
Camille.
with the knock-up. I mean, Once Upon a Team are currently playing really well. Things are looking up for them. They're taking the fights really, really well. And every time they get Kinetic out of the equation, it's already so much better. And up to now, they're really, really efficient at this. Because Kinetic is the main staple of Rift SLOTHS. Of course, Mikan deals some solid damage as well. He's got quite a few items, or 2 items in his pocket. But look at Kinetic's item. He's already pretty far ahead. Great CSing, and most importantly, he's got that like like almost 90% kill participation here. Got 3 kills, most kills of his team, almost all of the kills.
Yeah, that means that he's in every fight they need. That they take every fight with him, and without they lose some. But if you burst him down fast enough, he can't do anything.
Yeah, and they've got all the tools to do so with Spinto. We've seen before. He just flashes on him, can burst him. Neko also pretty solid around to do so. And with Ufio, they're able to get the rest of the team low. Or maybe it's his Poison who did the last kill with Cutlet. Now once again gets hooked. It's not enough to kill him. But put him already pretty close to half-life. Shot barrage.
Just taking blue. The dragon is almost up, but the supports are warding Baron because they maybe want to trade dragon with the Baron. And if you don't see them on your vision on Baron, they're probably on dragon. So either way, should be a good set of vision on the objectives. I think for the next fight, the Aphelios won't have white and green. It will be yellow and purple. It's not the best comp there is. So maybe Kinetic can hit the waste before switching. After
Yeah,
switching, sorry.
Rivslovs decides to go immediately for that Drake, not even give Once Upon a Team the chance to try and do it. However, Once Upon a Team in the meantime decides to rotate towards that Baron, gather the vision around it, and they look for the engage. They catch Kinetic once again, and they get him in a matter of seconds. Wow, so efficient.
And that's Baron.
Yeah, they get the Baron without Kinetic. Rivslovs is gonna have a rough time to deny it. 4 versus 5 without their main damage dealer. They look for the poke. They do. You can see we can't still have some very decent damage, but we find here purchase on the Batu, who is gonna fall. And now we have to be careful. They are in the middle of them. Is also not gonna survive for very long. They're now down 3 men, and with 2 people, then they can be able to do anything. Khan is of course still gonna look here, there to do some damage onto them. He's pretty safe on that Azrael, of course. We've already mentioned that earlier. But if Cutlight tanks all the hits, it's no use as well. As Once Upon a Team grabs the Baron.
And Nico blocks for Eufio, so the poke doesn't interrupt the back. Damn. Well, Once Upon a Team is coming back slowly. With the Dragon Buff, they may be looking for a fight again.
And they look for it. They grab another kill onto Kinetic. It's not his day today. And Once Upon a Team is just at their best currently. I don't feel like we've seen them this strong during the whole split. They're really packing it all out for tonight. The last sprint of this split. And by grabbing 2 wins against Rivslovs, they're in a really good position to actually contest that last spot, or second last spot from Aurora, if things go their way. Sliver of Hope is doing its magic here.
Oh, they actually can. They can take Aurora out to the last position. But we have a fight here.
We have a fight here. They keep on pushing.
It was a noodle.
They can't, of course, overdo it, but it's still always looking pretty good. They got the turret. They were able to push Rivslovs back in, and here Kinetic has to be careful. Flashes out just in time.
Yeah, well, Once Upon a Team is on a 9-game losing streak, so it will be the 9 buff, like Yasuo, you know. If you hit the 10, you're buffed, but I think it won't come down to 10.
Yes.
Damn. Once Upon a Team is really showing who's the boss here. It's not the Rifts.
Yeah, truly popping off here.
It's not the Sloths on the Rift, I wanted to say.
Now Once Upon a Team gathering some vision. They got some money back in. Were able to almost equalize that gold lead, but at that point, not even 1k gold. That's not worth anything here. They're back on equal footing item-wise, and we saw that even from behind, they were able to spin it in their favor. Now with equal gold lead, should be in a good position. Drake is there in 1 minute. It will be soul point for the team which grabs it. Very important objective. Rivslovs already started picking their vision around it.
Yeah, and Yoshisaur is good for either team here. The fights are... Eufio is just... Oh, the hook.
Oh, here we have the hook with the ultimate going on to Neko, but he is going to use that hourglass and a stopwatch and survive. He is mid-life. Drake is spawning. They seem to be going for it. Towards
And-
it, baiting Rift Sloths.
And now the fight is in Once Upon a Team's favor. There are no ultimates on the Sloths. Because they used it. Well, Ezreal will be up soon again. But if Once Upon a Team wants to fight, it should be now.
Yeah, they're trying
Of course,
to
the
bait.
Sloths. Yeah, the Sloths want to delay that fight because they want to wait for the ult. Ezreal ult is here. It's nothing.
Yeah, and now what does take the jump? We know where Bakan is. Neko decides to kind of isolate him while the rest of his team is onto that Drake and trying to push Rift Sloths back.
That's bad.
Neko in the back line, that's not so good indeed because he can't just get CC'd, so lots of damage. Lex using the Hexet blocking, they get the shutdown onto him. With Neko less, that's starting to look rough. Without a jungler to get an objective is not the easiest task, and they're just gonna decide to give it up. Good choice, because fighting this 4v5 is a bit dangerous still.
Yeah, and there was the mistake of Nico to he want to kill Beacon, but got blasted over with the blast plant cone.
Last cone, I think, yeah.
Blasting cone, yes. And I think Beacon played that really well. So Nico was a bit too greedy. Also probably panicked. As he saw that he's in great danger. And yeah. I think they should have just attacked the dragon. Try to let Leal not steal it. Just burst it down. I think with the DPS they have of Viego and Twitch and Rice, they should have been pretty fast, but they wanted to fight. It was understandable. There were no ults on either side of Sloths. Three people without ult. That's really crucial for a team fight.
Yeah, it was the right opportunity, and they realized that trying to bait the Rift Sloths wasn't going to work because they could just wait it out until they had their ultimates back and fight on equal footing again. So they had to take action. And it started off really well with Neko kind of trying to isolate Bakan there, trying to get the kill, but should have joined back with his team. He landed close to that bot lane, unfortunately, which wasn't so good. And now Rift Sloths rotating towards that Baron, dealing a lot of damage to it, should be able to get it without too many issues.
Yeah.
And retreat.
Red-white Philios is highest DPS on close range, so they just burst it down there. 280 carries also. And Beacon just got...
Oh, and we are interrupting the TP, the backports here, in order to let Lex push. He gets that turret on the bot lane and is gonna get that inhib. While Spinto decided to join his team. Now we're in for a pinch, they're looking for the fight. Liao is gonna survive thanks to the stopwatch. And now we have to be careful, fall back a bit. Neko is gonna follow Liao, but Liao should be able to flee, I believe. Mr. Todd hits, Cutlight is not, no, he dies. But so is Cutlight, and Spinto now backed, but Lex is gonna 1v1 him. We're gonna get the kill onto Neko for Bakan, and Lex just keeps on pushing. And now gonna get the kill onto Rufio. But Toto is there to make sure that the return kill goes to his AD carry, but we get a first Nexus turret, and now Kinetic coming in with the whiff wave along about with a big wave. They're gonna take that inhib, and the second Nexus turret, and the Rift Sloths are just like that, gonna snatch the game away from Once Upon a Team after they saw so much hope.
Yeah, I think Once Upon a Team just got out macroed. The macro, you see, the Sloths are... their macro is really on point. They know what to do in what fight. Kinetic got caught once or twice. Also didn't look good at that times when he got caught, because he was the very big damage source. But the individual mistakes of Once Upon a Team cost them the game, I think. But it's But the game for them, it was the game for the place 6. Now they are out of they are 7th, and they play for the next qualifying round for finals for the Division 2. So they are out of the contention for this year. Actually, maybe they can come back in the summer split. And that means that the Sloths are now tied with Roma Esports, and they still have 2 games. So even if Sloths lose against Roma, if they win against the Once Upon a Team on Friday, they're still first.
So first, they're in a really good position to get that spot, of course. And well, that we'll see on Friday, but another very interesting match is the next one, which is going to be Dynasty versus Reapers. A very important match, not so much for Dynasty, but very important for Reapers because they are still in the run for that 4th spot alongside Pertinax, since Pertinax took a win last game. Maybe we can take a look at the standings in order for you guys to be able to get an image of that and see how it is going. Here we can see that Pertinax and Reapers sharing that 4th spot with 7 wins. Reapers can take the lead here, knock Pertinax off 1 step, get closer to Dynasty in order to get a chance at the playoffs. But it is not done then, because both teams will be playing on Friday, of course, again. And if you can see the schedule for Friday, they also have some interesting matches ahead of them. Reapers will be playing Aurora, a matchup that should be favorable for them. Seen Aurora against Pertinax. Pertinax was able to take the win, and then we have Pertinax going up against Once Upon a Team, which should once again be a favorable matchup for Pertinax. So suppose that on Friday both teams were able to win, Reapers needs to win today to get spot against Dynasty, else both teams will be tied and will be in for a tiebreaker. Now, if Reapers were to win against Dynasty, however, and against Aurora, Dynasty has the default win from Adverse, who had to leave the competition, meaning Reapers will get 2 more points and be tied with Dynasty, so we'll be in for a tiebreaker on there. So yeah, we'll have a lot of tiebreakers ahead of us. Or actually, no, probably just one. But yes, nothing is played yet.
Oh, there will be no tiebreaker, because if they have the same points, Reaper has the head-to-head, so they go up. They're tight.
Right, there's the head-to-head to be played. Feels bad, but should still be a pretty interesting match. The next one, Reapers vs Dynasty, should be really interesting because last week, yeah, Reapers was able to take the win against Dynasty, and I had the feeling that Dynasty was just a bit shaky on their legs, and Reapers were back in confidence, going around very strong. So I'm definitely hyped to see how that return match goes between the 2 teams. But we'll see that very soon after a more or less short break, because originally this matchup was supposed to be played last, but admin is trying to see with the players if they can play earlier. We'll see if that works out. But in the meantime, we're gonna head into a break, and we'll see you soon for the next match of tonight.